Cubs made their first significant cut this spring, and it included some of their top prospects, including the guy that I call Hollywood Pete. What message does that send? I mean, we're still pretty early in spring training. So the Cubs go from 62 to 50 on the big league roster. How about Shöta Imanaga? Looked really good in his outing. The Cubs had split squad action yesterday. Imanaga with the start, and he looked really good. And Patrick Wisdom taking some swings. We got video of that on the backfields in a sim game. That and more. Let's talk some Cubs baseball right here on the Cubs baseball channel. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up and share with your Cubs friends. The more, the merrier. Here's their invitation. Let's get this thing going. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mesa, Arizona. We're in the hotel right next to Sloan Park, and that's where the Cubs get ready for the regular season. Spring training is here, and we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. At Broadcaster Mick on the socials, I'm Mick Gillispie. All right, let's talk about the news of the day yesterday. And I know this is, in some aspects, March 8th is a little bit old, but I want to give you my take of this cut. Now, I was kind of surprised, to be perfectly honest with you, right? And let me start there. The roster got trimmed from 62 to 50. And I don't think, besides Pete Crow-Armstrong, there was anyone on this list that really blew me away, right? Guys that are going to get to the big leagues this year, including Pete Crow-Armstrong. I think he's going to get back. Owen Casey, who's had the tremendous spring, but the Cubs have made it apparent that he doesn't have a chance to make the roster. Kevin Alcantara, same thing, hasn't had the big spring, but, he's one of the Cubs' top prospects. And they send them to different places, right? So you got option to Iowa, Ben Brown, who is a pitcher that we expect eventually is going to get to the big leagues. If he hadn't gotten hurt last year, that would have happened already. Luis Vazquez, who's now on the 40-man roster, he was sent to minor league camp along with Pete Crow-Armstrong and Brennan Davis, who is kind of, I feel like, running out of time. He's got to kind of step up and get on that big league roster and prove that he can do it, or, he's just getting passed by a bunch of different players in that same position. With that said, he had a really good spring up until the concussion that kind of took him out of action. He was hit on the helmet by a pitch. Option to Double-A, Michael Harris, Porter Hodge, and then, of course, we talked about Alcantara, and then reassigned to minor league camp, Ethan Roberts. I think he's got a chance to be in the big leagues a long time this year, the right-handed reliever. Riley Thompson, Pablo Aliendo, who I actually watched play today, and Matt Shaw, who hit a home run today, right? So that was the list of guys who were sent to minor league camp. But the one that stuck out to me the most was Pete Crow-Armstrong. So there's a couple things here. And you guys know, I believe in this kid. I think he's a really good player. And I think that he's got a huge future in the major leagues. He's electric. He just has the ability to run the bases as well as anyone. He is aggressive. He's got to learn how to do that and be successful in the major leagues. It's a big step up from the minor leagues. It's as big as it's ever been. I've talked about that before. But I feel like with Pete Crow-Armstrong, coming into camp, he had a really good chance to make the team. Cody Bellinger hadn't signed, and he had worked all offseason to get better. Hitting coach Dustin Kelly, kind of just the reps. I've seen what the guy can do. Got good eye. He's got great hands. Maybe a little bit too aggressive at the plate. I think he's got to work on the bunting a little bit as well, just because he can steal hits with his speed, right? But he's got this clutch gene that you can't teach. He's super competitive. And I really feel like there's going to come a time where he's going to turn the corner. With that said, I'm going to be a little critical. And it is what it is, right? You show up to camp and you have the blue hair, Okay. You're a 21-year-old trying to make the team. If you hit 500, blue hair is the coolest thing that anyone's ever seen, right? With the blue haircut. And you guys have even, some of you bleacher bums want me to do my hair blue, and I will. I'll do it, because you guys retweeted or whatever, like the video on the Smokies website. And I get that. And I have no problem with it at all. But I'm not his boss. I'm just a Cubs fan that does broadcasting, right? But the bottom line is this: is you show up, you got that, you're wearing the earrings, you do all those things. You got to show up and kill it, like Owen Casey's done. I feel like if Pete Crow-Armstrong had come in and had a camp like Owen Casey's camp, I don't think we're even talking about him being cut today, because I think that from the very beginning of spring training, there's been a lot of optimism that he could make the team. Now, I hope that he uses all this as motivation. And I'm not saying he didn't make the team because of the blue hair. I'm saying he didn't make the team because he didn't play well enough to make the team. He lost some balls in the sun. That's bad luck. What are you going to do? The batting hasn't been there. You get picked off some. Didn't have enough hits. This guy's capable of doing some really great stuff. He just didn't prove that this camp. But he will. I think eventually he's going to get it all figured out. I'm still investing in his stock. Maybe it's trending to the minor leagues right now. But, really, he didn't have a whole lot of time in the minors. He's only 21 years old. So he's got a long way to go. But to me, seeing him on that list was telling, because I really thought that he was going to push this battle as far as he possibly could. And, we're talking about it on March 9th, okay? I told you I got some video. I went and checked out some of Patrick Wisdom at his taking some sim game at bats. He looks good. Right quad tightness is what he's been kind of out of action with. But, basically you got a pitcher throwing to like three guys. He's one of them. And his last hit, which I didn't video, he crushed it, so looking good. He is definitely a guy who fills out that uniform. He almost looks like one of those dudes that you would see in a wrestling match, right? So they struck him out that time, but here's a much better go for him. He's just so big and strong, and he most of these guys on those backfields are minor leaguers. Obviously he is a major leaguer. And he's a good major leaguer. So don't look at the results here. Just look at the fact that he's out there swinging the bat. It doesn't look like there's any kind of problem at all. And he's what they refer to as day-to-day. I think that he's going to be back with the Cubs in the lineup here sometime soon. I'm guessing that they'll probably debut him in the short future, right? But it was good to see him out there taking some cuts. And honestly, it was good. I'm going to give you guys a little sound here. It was just good to hear the kind of the top of the mitt, crack the bat again. It's the backfields are where you get a lot of the work done, right? Like stuff like this, where there's two guys ahead of you. You hit, and then they go hit, and then you're back in there. But you're facing live pitchers, and you're getting the opportunity just to kind of get back to that baseball speed again. And that's something that we saw with Patrick Wisdom. So interestingly enough, he's doing better, and the Cubs are going to need him. Now, let's talk about Imanaga. What a game. 5 strikeouts. The movement on the pitches was a lot crisper than the last time we saw him. And I said it before last time. He's going to have his ups and downs, but I'm not ready to give up on the guy after one game, and I'm not ready to make him the Cy Young Award winner after his second game. But what I am saying is that watching the movement on the pitches that he throws, and just the way that it comes out of his hand, it's tough to see. He's going to be an exciting player to kind of keep an eye on. I'm definitely curious, though, how he approaches batters the second time they see him, which is something that he'll start doing here in spring training. Does it benefit him, or does it benefit them? Are they going to make adjustments to what he's doing, or is he going to make adjustments to what he sees them doing? So those are things. And then Matt Shaw, a home run, his first home run. I still don't think of him as a power hitter, but I love the way that he plays the position of third base when he's given that opportunity. I would say he's probably a natural second baseman, but can play third. And we'll find out as this process moves forward. But we'll get into some of these roster battles that are taking place, right? One guy that was not cut was Matt Mervis. So Matt Mervis still trying to battle to win that first base job. Michael Busch a couple of nights ago with his first Cubs home run, first base with, Garrett Cooper and, what is it, Dom Smith, like guys who have major league experience and are trying to fight for a spot on the roster. And then you got the young guys that are out there trying to get, basically do their best to make it over those guys. And, what does that mean? I think the Cubs would really like Michael Busch just to run with this position and and take it and just it be his. But we'll find out. So they've got some insurance in there as well. All right, that's it. Great hanging out. I'm going to continue to talk to you guys tomorrow. The Cubs AA affiliate Tennessee Smokies are having their ring ceremony. And I got to throw some shout outs. Their manager last year, Kevin Graber, ran into him today. Rick Strickland, their hitting coach. The players are excited about getting these championship rings. I'll have one to show you guys tomorrow. And I'm actually going to read the names of the guys as they get their rings. And that's exciting stuff. And I think some of these guys are going to be on the field, too, to accept these rings. And then be honored on the TV broadcast as well. So that is something fun, and that'll make today a very special day to be able to do that. So thanks for hanging out. Again, like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, and we will talk some more Cubs baseball if maybe tomorrow, maybe later today. We'll see what happens. Go Cubs.